So about 7 months ago, I made a video called My Ultimate Goal in Final Fantasy XIV. And in that video I was talking about how my biggest goal, the biggest thing that I want to accomplish is to complete the Unending Coil of Bahamut. Now this was before I had finished the MSQ, it was a few months after I'd started the game, and as of today I have finally accomplished that goal. I thought I would just give my thoughts on the Ultimate today, especially compared to the only other one that I've done, which is the Ultimate Weapon. First things first, this was done in PF, LPDU strategies. Light Party does Ultimate is a community on the Light data center. It's got its own strategies for how it handles the different fights, so that way when people join you in Party Finder, you all know your own role. You all know what to do. So, I have to say, I did like this fight more than the Ultimate Weapon. Not that that fight is bad, I still like it a lot, and the Ultimate soundtrack is still one of my favorites in the entire game. But this fight was just simply more fun. I liked the things in it more than the Ultimate Weapon. And it was also a decent step up in difficulty compared to the Ultimate Weapon, which is why I started with that one, and it's why a lot of people recommend to start with that one as well. I think the difficulty stemmed from the fact that there's more going on and there's just more to look out for. Take the second phase for example, this is probably the phase that took me the longest to learn. You've got the random doom debuffs going out with different timers, so you have to cleanse at the right time, otherwise you're going to kill someone if you take yours too early. You've got the flyer tether thing going on, you've got the thunder debuffs where you have 5 seconds to get the fuck away from the party, otherwise you're going to paralyze everyone. The amount of times I gave out a mass paralysis debuff made me increase my debuff size to 200%. And if you haven't done this fight, you might be wondering why my chat is in the middle of the screen. That's because while all this is going on, you've got different dialogue that Nail will say, and depending on what she says is going to depend on what mechanics she does. But again, at the same time, thunders are going out, so I thought I'm just going to put my chat box above my debuff so I can look at both at the same time. Because if you take thunder too far out, you might get killed by Lunar Dynamo. Yes, Nail does have a quote bubble above her head which has the quote, but I just prefer having it in the chat so I can always look at it if I need to. If you're doing it in PF and you haven't got callouts, I recommend doing this, although it's completely unnecessary. I just prefer not moving my eyes to the bottom left of my screen where the chat usually would be. And then on top of all that, you've got dragon dives. So that's just an example of a lot more going on, a lot more to get used to and to look out for in this fight. But it's very satisfying to go from being completely overwhelmed by all the things happening to going through it smoothly. And I think another thing that made this fight a bit more difficult is the chance of everyone just dying if you do one thing wrong. For example, twisters on mainly Octet or Ads phase. Another small mistake that can end the run is towers. Heaven's Fall trio, if you don't find your tower fast enough or you get the wrong one, then one's going to explode and it's going to kill you all. Heaven's Fall was the downfall of a lot of party finders, definitely. 10 Strike, there's another big chance of the run going down the toilet with that. And then even the final phase, right? Now the final phase is very simple, there's 3 mechanics. The only thing though, the only actual attack that you have to dodge is Exaflares. Exaflares are these circles that appear on the ground and they travel in the direction of the arrows that are pointing, right? So you walk next to them, and then you walk into where they were. That's the safest way of dodging it, in my opinion. But every time you get here, you will see some wipes here. Essentially, there's a lot of different things here that make it a bit more difficult, because one mistake, whether it be by you or someone else, can reset the whole thing. And it really does suck to see when it happens on ads or when it happens at the final phase, especially if it was because of you. I've definitely twisted people in ads before. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't. But I think that's just partially where the extra difficulty comes in compared to the weapons refrain. But that made it more fun to actually play, and it also made it more satisfying to complete. Now I'm not going to be talking for the entire clear, I'm going to wrap it up soon. I don't have enough to talk about for 16 minutes. As far as what I'm doing next, I am going to be doing T. I'm going to be starting that very soon. I cannot wait to sit in PF for 6 hours before I can even get a full party. There are downsides to doing ultimates in Party Finder. That was one of the biggest things, waiting hours for a group. And, you know, you might have 7 people, then one person leaves, and that makes another person leave, and it's a chain reaction, everyone leaves, and you've been waiting hours for the group as well. It sucks, and that mainly goes for learning the fight, getting a clear group, you know, a clear run, even though they hardly ever result in clears. It took me 4 days to get the actual clear, but at least they fill quickly. At least you can get in there and try and clear. I think there are benefits though of doing it in PF as opposed to doing it with a static. In fact, I'd prefer to do things in PF than have a static. I did end up joining a static actually for UCOB just a few days ago, because I filled in for them, and then I just ended up joining them, but I didn't stop doing it in PF either, so I've already cleared now, but I'm still going to get some more clears with them, I guess. I just prefer Party Finder though, because again, you can sort of do it whenever you want. Here, once you've got the hang of something, you can move on. You don't need to wait on anybody else. You can make a new PF for a new mechanic. And you can do it whenever you want. There's no set schedule for when your group is going to raid. I much prefer doing that because I like to grind these things out and get them done as fast as possible. I am looking forward to doing T. It's just the waiting times for practice is going to suck, but I've been through it twice now already. I can do it again. But yeah, I think that is all I have to say. Really good fight. Probably my favourite fight in the game so far. Thank you to everyone in the Discord that actually helped me clear the fight. I was the only one in here that hadn't done it. Everyone else had already cleared before. So thank you for saving me from doing this for God knows how many more days. That being said, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll let the run play.